Hello everyone and welcome to Soul Stained Ink. My name is Beth and I am here sitting on my back porch to bring you a very quick update on my actual job. I've been giving you guys updates on my graduate program and there's another video currently uploading, so you might actually see that before you see this one. I'm not sure, but I wanted to tell you a little bit about my actual job. Most of you know that I moved over the summer, came back down to Texas. So I came back down to Texas because the job that I was absolutely in love with in Oklahoma could no longer afford to keep me. But I had been in contact with a principal down here who graduated the year after, one of my favorite people in the whole wide world, and he was like, you should send your resume in, and then here in a few years when our English teacher retires, we'll have your stuff on file and we'll talk then. And then the English teacher was like, I want to retire 5 years early, and my job was like, hey, we can't afford to keep you. And it was kind of a perfect storm, and I ended up being able to move home to Texas, and I am very close to said favorite person. And I'm an hour away from my grandparents and 45 minutes from where my parents have moved to. And it's just absolutely wonderful. I love the community. I love the school. I love the people I work with. I love my students. Everything's great. However, I was really concerned about the first few weeks of school because this is a whole new ballgame, people. If you are not a teacher, you have still probably been inundated with discussions, news articles, Facebook memes, whatever, about all the things that are changing in schools right now due to the pandemic. And yes, a lot has changed. Push my glasses up. A lot has changed. We spent the first 3 weeks learning not only about each other and getting ready to really dive into our studies, but also learning how we were going to proceed if our face-to-face schooling has to be stopped and goes back to online. So now that the first few weeks are done with and all my kids know how to get onto Google Classroom and how to find what I need them to do, we have an online ELA book. So I teach 7th and 8th grade English language arts and also 7th and 8th grade reading, along with monitoring sophomore history courses that are online and teaching junior fine arts. So we've all been able to get online and get that stuff taken care of and learn how we are going to do all of that. And now I can really dive into my beginning of the year novel studies. I also taught them how to study and how to take notes and what their learning styles were prior to this. So we've gotten some good information in, done a couple of lessons online, all of that jazz. But yeah, moving on, we are starting novels, which is what I said 5 minutes ago and just kept blabbering. My 7th graders and my 8th graders all told me they don't really like to read, or if they like to read, they only want to read what they want to read, and they don't like doing novel studies in class because the teacher always just tells them, read this chapter and then answer this worksheet, and they haven't really done it together. That is not how I work, and after learning what everybody's learning styles were, that's definitely not how these kids work. So we are reading out loud together. In the 7th grade, Alice in Wonderland, and in the 8th grade, My Brother Sam is Dead. Now, Alice in Wonderland, most of you guys know the story of that, but surprisingly, my 7th graders don't really, and what they think they know is from watching like Tim Burton's version when it first came out. They have no idea. So what I always do is we study the kind of decades surrounding when the book is published. Then we study the author's biography, and that way we can understand a little bit more why this book was written and why it was written, how it was written, what kind of impact that language would have had then as opposed to now, etc. And we did that in both the 7th grades and in the 8th grade with My Brother Sam is Dead, which is a Revolutionary War novel following a boy who is trying to figure out which side is right. Is his brother who joined the Patriot Army correct, or his father who says they should be loyal to the king and that war is stupid. Is he correct? And, he's kind of living in the middle of all of this. So we've done that with both. The kids do a presentation on the time period surrounding the novel. We learn about the authors, and then we move on to reading. We've read the first chapter of My Brother Sam is Dead, the first 3 chapters of Alice in Wonderland, and all of my kids who said they hated reading or hated reading as a class are now telling me that they love it and they want to continue on. When I told the superintendent that on Friday, he about fell over in happiness. He was like, that is a big deal for these kids. They haven't done that before. They're having class discussions. They're taking notes. They are telling other people outside of the class about what we're reading. And that is just not something normal for them. So hopefully my different teaching style is going to work well. And this is not just a beginning of the year fluke. But that is what we are doing. That's just a quick update for you guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I would love to hear from you. Tell me what you think of those books, if you've read either one of them, and if not, you should read them and give me some of your notes that I can pass on to my students. I'll talk to you again soon. I hope you're all staying safe. Bye.